has been interrupted, and I hope everything is saved to YouTube. So, back to the prime parts. Prime parts are important for two things: crafting prime items, which are better versions of regular items, like weapons and warframes, and of course, trading with other players. Prime parts are able to be traded with other players for platinum or other resources, or other items, and that's kind of important to keep in mind for later. Next tab, imprints. Imprints are genetic information of your pets that you can store and replicate your pet indefinitely if you want. So you can create the same dog or cat all the time. Imprints can also be sold to other players, if I'm not mistaken. So if you have like just bred a Kubro or a Kavat with a really rare fur pattern, which can happen, you can actually create a genetic imprint of that and sell it to other players for platinum who seek rare breeds of animals, which is kind of cool. Then there's vehicles. In this case, I have my Arcwing, which is a whole nother system entirely, and my K-Drive, which is my hoverboard. Then there's Arcwing weapons, which are different from regular weapons. There's Necromex, which is also another combat system entirely. And there are Void Amps, which are basically the weapons of your operator. And then there's Relics. Relics are used in a special game mode where you collect a certain resource over the course of the game mode, and once you did that, the relic is opened, and once the game mode ends, you'll be shown what you get, and relics are used to farm for prime parts, so that's important to keep in mind. And then there's everything else that doesn't fit. Mostly decorative items for your orbiter, credits for Nightwave, upgrade segments that you've installed for your orbiter, captura scenes, what that is I'll explain at some point, and other blueprints and weapon parts and all that kind of stuff. So here goes everything that doesn't go anywhere else. What are Nakak pearls? Insidious will probably like these. Maybe she'll trade something special for them. Hey, that's a good information. I should probably do that. To research how everything that doesn't go anywhere else. And I don't know what to do with these Archon shards, but that's probably the Veilbreaker quest. So, this is your inventory. Then we have Void Relics, which I've just showed you in the inventory. We have mods, which we'll go over later. We have arcanes, which I've just showed you. We have abilities. The abilities tab is usually used only for Warframe information, but you can view the abilities from your arsenal also, so we won't go into that too much. We have specters. Real quick, you can use your weapon or Warframe loadout onto a Spectre, which is basically a clone of that loadout that you can spawn inside of missions to help you as like an AI companion if you're in a bind. And then there's the Orbiter.
Navigation has been updated with new invasions. Chaos is spreading.
It is. And then there's the Orbiter tab, in which you can decorate your Orbiter. You can choose your orbiter appearance, and you can choose your landing craft appearance. Let's just hop into the decoration mode right now. It gives you a free camera, then you can look around everything and look at everything. We'll go over all of these systems in a bit, and then you can see, then you can like point the camera at a decorative item, select it, and then move it around. Scale it down, scale it up, turn it around, whatever you want to do. It doesn't really matter, but you can do it. So that's the decorating system, and I've done quite a bit of decorating. There's lots of little things that I've stuck into all of my machines in order to make them look different, and there's lots of stuff that I did in order to make it look as seamless as possible, and I've put some real work into this, and I'm kind of proud of myself for it. So this is the decoration mode, I guess. I want to exit the decoration mode. And there's just the equipment tab. Then there's like the operator appearance, just really quickly showing you what these things do. Like this is your, you can set the scene. Filigree Prime is what I'm using. I could also select nothing. I can select Festive Interior. I can select Spring Festival Interior. But I'm more in line with Filigree Prime, of course, because I'm the white gold type of person. Then there's like the wear and tear that you can add or subtract. If you color it crimson like I did, it looks like blood spatters, which is kind of nice. And then there's like the colors that you can change. So this is all very seamless and very quick and very easy to do, which is actually kind of nice. And I actually kind of like that. I like white gold, but black gold? Maybe I'll get into that. Interesting. Oh, this is also nice. You know what? I think I'm gonna use this. That's what changes. Okay, I could blacken it or whiten it. I think this. Oh, that's not bad. I think I'll like this. Yeah, white accents, black accents, white, black, white, black, white, black, white, black. Difficult choice. Very difficult choice.
Ordis did not think the operator could be more attractive. Wrong again, Ordis.
Let's keep it black. Okay. Yeah, tertiary is obviously needs to be gold. Obviously. Okay, perfect. New orbiter appearance coming up. This actually doesn't look too bad. Okay, nice. So much for the equipment menus. Then there's the operator. We'll get to that in a bit. That's just the human behind the Warframe. Then there's the market. We'll get to that in a bit. Communication. This is kind of important. There's your Friends tab. In your Friends tab, you can add a friend by sending a message to them. You can see all your friends here, which I have none of because I don't know anyone. And here are the players that I've last played with on missions. Those are all randos. And here's their clan tab. You would be able to see my clan here if I had one. I can search for a clan and join, or I can form my own and found a clan if I want. But that's too much work for a single person, because clans mean dojo, and dojo means resource investment. Resources that I don't have as a single person, and I don't want to meet lots of new players. Then there's the inbox, which shows you all the messages from the system mostly. So it shows you alerts, it shows you special rewards or special quest alerts or whatever. Mostly these get pulled up immediately once you enter the game if it's something important, otherwise you'll get a little notification. So that's that. Then there's the quests that I'll go over in a bit because there's a workstation for that. There's the railjack, which the railjack is like your spaceship that you can go on special missions with, and I'll touch on that one in a bit. There's your profile, codex, profiles, syndicates, leaderboards, and glyph. So the codex, there's a workstation for that. We'll go over that in a bit. my profile, we've just accessed that. The syndicates, we've just there's another workstation for that. Leaderboards, personal clan and world statistics. I don't need to show you that. And there's the glyph, which is kind of your profile picture. I currently have the Ashwat glyph, and every glyph that isn't grayed out, I actually own. And there's premium glyphs apparently. So there's lots of glyphs to choose from. Some you get as rewards, some you can buy, some you have just unlocked by default, like this one, I think. And so, yeah, this is just your profile image that you can choose. Okay, real check profile. And then there's like the game settings. All kind of options. System, social, interface. This is just for you to pick apart and see what works and what doesn't. Okay. With this most crucial part out of the way, let's fetch and see what we can see. So, we'll start the game, every game session will start here in your navigation part. This is Earth right there with a few green galleons around it. And let's see, this is the navigation console. It says, well, it tells you on this screen everything that you need to know that's going on. There's like Ghoul Purge, Fomorian Threat, and Thermia Fractures as events going on right now in specific regions of space with specific rewards that also get shown. Then there's like the Nightwave things that it'll tell you what things there are to do, and then there's the world cycles which are kind of important. There's like for each open world segment that the game has, there are different cycles with that come with different like times of day, and these come with different enemies, challenges, and rewards. So that's something to keep in mind. If you hop into the navigation really quickly, we can see the entire star chart, which consists of multiple planets, some more obscure locations such as the Zariman spaceship, which is quite huge, and the Void, which is a very special location, or the Kuva Fortress, which is also it's just a planet-sized spaceship. And then there's like planets, asteroids, and moons that you can all travel to and do missions on. These are mission nodes that you can choose. It'll tell you what game mode you'll be facing, and that'll tell you immediately what you'll need to know and what you need to do in order to complete it. And it'll also tell you what faction you will be fighting against and what level they are in relation to you, which will give you an idea what kind of forces you're dealing with. So much for that. Then there's this console. This is the news console. You can access all kinds of news here. If you click on one of these, it'll open a tab on your browser and it'll show you what is. And there's like community news that'll be interesting, like for Twitch drops or I don't know, ducat value for Baza Prime Blueprint. I think that's important. Then there's this. This is the Conclave console. Just really quickly, this is like your PvP mode. Annihilation, 1 versus all. Team Annihilation, 4v4. Cephalon Capture, which is like, it's just capture the flag. And Lunaro, which is a sports game. An ancient team sport of the Lost Oregon era. Nice. And you can practice Lunaro even. Isn't that nice? You can... I haven't even played Conclave. I don't have a loadout for it. It's just Excalibur with a Scana. This is like the most basic. Yeah, there's like special loadouts that you can configure for Conclave. I haven't played it yet in this on this account. Then there's your Plexus, which is your railjack, which is your spaceship that you can do special spaceship missions with in space. And you can configure lots of shit here that you don't need to concern yourself with just yet. Here's the Syndicates tab. Here are the 6 syndicates that are available from this workstation. And if you select one, you can...
Advancement imminent. I require more data.
You can choose to rank up with them. Each syndicate, each faction has 5 ranks. In order to rank up,
I require more data.
you need a certain amount of credits, in which case this is a lot, and Harrow Prime Neuroptics, of course, a rare item in exchange for better rewards. And here are the offerings.
Interesting.
You can spend this number of standing on all of these things that you can see here, which is kind of a nice thing. Oh look, it's a sculpture of Data, which is nice. I think I'll get this. Why not purchase it?
I see.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things locked behind the last and final rank, like a cool armor set, or like combat emotes, and whatever. Like, oh yeah, and then there's like captura scenes, which is just for taking photos and screenshots and all that stuff. So there's lots of rewards from syndicates, and you can earn them by ranking up these syndicates and by earning standing and spending that. So much for that. A little tidbit about syndicates. These syndicates are opposed to each other, so if you side with Cephalon Suda, New Loka is not going to like that, and when you rank up Cephalon Suda, you'll lose standing with New Loka, and if it goes into the negative, there's a chance of them dropping a death squad on you. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, you can pledge yourself to a certain syndicate to increase the standing you'll get from them, and you can change it at any time. Alright, so much for these consoles. Then we got the market. Let's go over that first. Yeah, the market is basically all the items that you can buy in the game, either for credits, which will usually yield blueprints, so that you can craft things in your foundry, or items that are only available for platinum, which means premium currency. Those are mostly like either fully crafted weapons and warframes, fully crafted gear, or like these booster bundles, decorative items, cosmetics for your weapons and warframes, like skins and armor pieces and whatnot. So everything that you need, you can get here. And you can search for anything over on these tabs and just acquaint yourself with these. Then there's this. This is the Codex. The Codex stores all the knowledge that you've acquired. It shows you all the quests. It shows you all the companions that exist, objects in the game, relics and arcanes, weapons, warframes and vehicles. Vehicles mean like mech suits and stuff. Kuva Lich's Sisters of Parvos, these two systems. Big art gallery, you can unlock art pieces through some means. I don't know. Cephalon fragments, you can scan certain items in missions and unlock lots of lore and lots of art to display on your orbiter through that. Then there's factions, which is important. There's tons of factions. And then there's mods, which is important because there's even more mods than anything else in this game. Mods are used to upgrade your gear, and these are where the true power of weapons and warframes comes from. So these are very important, very, very important. While we're here, let's go over the factions just really quickly to show you what there is. There's the Grineer, which is a bunch of clone soldiers that are falling apart because of genetic ingenuity and failure. And they have like this archaic, futuristic vibe to them. So like their weapons are very archaic. They use alloy plating in their armor. They use projectile weapons and all of these kinds of things. And like spaceships that they build shouldn't be able to fly through space just on a pure material usage alone, but it does. And the Grineer are one of the most evil factions in the game. They are very territorial, they are very, very, very aggressive, and their leaders are very unpleasant. Then there's the Corpus. The Corpus are a cult worshipping money, and they are very, very highly technologically advanced. They have energy weapons, they have plenty of robotics, they have even Warframe nullifying abilities that can drain you of your Warframe abilities and all of these kinds of things. They are they're a force to be reckoned with, and you do not want to fight them all by yourself. They have even like some experimental kind of units that are fused from Corpus people and some other technology. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, those are the Corpus. Then there's the Infestation. The Infestation is a disease, a sickness that fuses machines with a biological tissue to create the most horrifying of monsters. And the Infestation is lore-wise started on Earth, got carried to Deimos, and on Deimos it flourished, and now it is everywhere. And you usually have to exterminate it. Then there's like unaffiliated things. This is mostly wildlife. Then you have the Orokin, which is mostly specters and corrupted enemies. There's little actual Orokin to fight in this game. Then there's the Sentient faction. The Sentient are very unpleasant, to be quite honest. So these guys they are sentient AI machines that have been created by the Orokin Empire, and now they want to kill them, basically. Then there's the Stalker, which is his own faction. He sometimes, when you kill a boss, he will mark you for death and randomly appear in one of your missions and try to kill you. And Narmer. Narmer is another faction that I haven't fought yet because I didn't do the Veilberger quest, I think. So these were all the factions, just to keep in mind. Then there's the Librarian. If you want some in-depth lore on Warframes, this is where you go. There's Training, which means the basics: advanced movement, advanced melee, upgrades, mods, crafting, foundry, damage, sentinels, clans, synthesis, the index. This goes over all of that, so if you need some further reading, you go here. And then there's the mission types: assassination, capture, defense, excavation, terminate, hijack, hive, sabotage, interception, invasion, mobile defense, recovery, rescue, sabotage, spies, survival, cephalon capture, annihilation, team annihilation, Lunaro, railjack. And these aren't even all the game modes that exist. But these are most of them, and the most crucial ones. And if you have any questions regarding these, well, this is where you go. Okay, so much for the codex. We're done here. Now for the real interesting part. This part. So, okay. There are several different workstations here, and we'll get to that over here in a bit. So, let's start with the foundry. The foundry is your crafting station. Every item that you need can be crafted here. That includes warframes, weapons, sentinel parts, everything. Every item that you can craft, every item that I can build is in the ready to build tab that I've just switched to, but you can also switch to Warframe primary, secondary, melee weapon tab to see what you need. Arcwing landing craft tab. The landing craft is actually... Let's not get into that right now. Gear... modular, which means special modular weapons that you can craft, and mining, and all the other shit that doesn't fit anywhere else. So the foundry is your crafting station. If you want to build something, you do it here. Then there's this, the mod machine. So mods are important. There is tons of mods for everything. From weapons to warframes to your railjack, to your spaceship, to Arcwing, your space wings to fly in space without your spaceship, to your Kubros and Kavats, so your pets, to your sentinels, to everything, everything in this game can have mods, and mods are where the true strength lies. Mods determine whether or not you have lots of health, armor, damage resistances, special auras that have passive effects, special other stuff, and all of that kind of shit. So mods are very important, and it is very important to acquaint yourself with them. This one here raises your Warframe energy, and the energy pool is responsible for casting abilities, which is really important. This one right here raises shield capacity and health points, which is really important. And all of these kinds of things. Similarly, these auras are very important. Melee weapon damage increase, plus 60% melee damage. This is really important, and quite a lot of melee damage that you can add to your Warframe if you put this aura on, which is its own special kind of mod that goes in a special kind of slot. And there's so many other types of mods, and I have tons of these, and you will earn tons of these. Then there's the item treasures tab, which goes over certain sculptures that you can slot certain items into to make them move. For instance, this sculpture here can be activated. It is currently lying still, but I can put... Oh, sorry. I can put... If I select this, I can actually put a star here, and then it begins moving a little bit, and then I can install another star, and then it moves a little bit more and starts glowing, and then I put in the next star, and then it moves a little bit more, and if I complete the set, it begins moving and just looks kind of pretty. These sculptures can be sold for another currency called Endo, which you need to upgrade mods to make them stronger, to make your gear stronger. And they can also be used as decorative items on your orbiter, which I tend to use. So much for the modding part. Nice. Good. Then there's your arcane machine. We've just went over the arcanes, but you can also do this from this machine right here. It'll show you also all the arcanes that exist that you don't have yet. This is just a decorative item. I can... yeah, this is a decorative item from a special event. This is your Sentinel that you cannot configure here, but it'll stay here conveniently for you to look at. You can configure your Sentinel from the Arsenal tab that we'll get into very shortly. This is your Incubator. And on the incubator, my current Kubro Sheldnigarath should come. Well, it's actually a Helminth Charger, not a Kubro. There's actually a third breed of pet that you can have, and that is the Helminth Charger, which is an infested pet. I can breed a Kubro using an incubator power core and an egg, and I can just begin an incubation if I so wish. I can also breed a Kavat with a genetic code and an incubator power core, and I can begin an incubation if I so wish. And what kind of pet you'll get, or what kind of Kubro or Kavat you'll get, is absolutely random, and sometimes they'll spawn with special fur patterns that are really rare, which is kind of nice. You can also outfit them with armor and all that kind of stuff, but more on that later. Then there's your relics station, where you can look at all your relics. Then there's your Ludoplex, which you'll actually have to buy. You can only buy the Ludoplex in a store, I think, or somewhere. I forgot. I've placed it here. It's a decorative item. You can place it anywhere in the ship. I've placed it here, and it is used to play minigames like Frame Fighter, Wormius, or Happy Zephyr. And, oh no, I think the Ludoplex is bought from either a certain faction or syndicate, I can't remember. And then there's this, the arsenal, the hot piece of your operations. You go here in preparation for missions. The arsenal allows you to select different loadouts of different things and configure absolutely everything. So, on the left-hand side, it shows you your equipped items like Warframe, primary weapon, secondary weapon, melee weapon, what focus school you're currently on if you have focus unlocked, and your Parazon, which is a special kind of weapon that is used in coup village hunts and power sister hunts, and in finishing off. Yeah, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed, isn't it? And in finishing off big enemies. So you can just equip Warframes willy-nilly, if you so wish, and do all that kind of stuff. Just equip anything if you want. And it'll even show you the Warframes you haven't unlocked yet, and if you have the necessary platinum, you can buy them from here also. Then there's the upgrade screen, which I'll show you right now. This is what the mods look like. You can put arcanes over here, which are equipable items. You can put your aura mods here. You can put certain Exilus mods here. Exilus mods are like special mods that don't do much but a little bit, and the regular mods you put in these 8 slots. Each slot has what is called a polarity. The polarities are these symbols: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if a mod slot and a mod's polarity match, the upgrade cost is lessened. I think it is halved even. So that's something to keep in mind when modding things. And it'll show you the current stats of the Warframe, and if you hover over them, it'll show you a little synopsis of what these stats mean. And these stats are important to keep in mind, reflective of the Warframe abilities. So this is basically what you would call a build. Each of these mods does a certain thing, and I would say you go and figure out what your mods do and how they interact with each equipment. You can also configure different builds, and you get 3 configuration slots and can buy with platinum up to 3 more. And as a synopsis of the rank bonuses, here are the rank bonuses. So when you rank up your Warframes or weapons, you get certain rank bonuses in either damage or energy max, health shield, whatever. Then there's like the appearance tab, You can customize pretty much anything from colors to the cape that I wear to like these wings here, which is an ephemera, which is like a different type of thing, and the armor pieces on shoulders, chest, and legs, as well as the skin of the Warframe itself. So I can just like choose different outfits if you wish. And of course, lots of fancy helmets that you can get to really get your Warframe appearance up to snuff. Whatever you like. I can even toggle prime details if I want, if I have a non-prime skin equipped, which is kinda nice. There's sigils as well, and bandana and attachments, and I can even change the animation set if I want, which is kinda cool, because that allows me to, well, it's basically idle animations, but that makes for a different look, and that's just pretty cool. Okay, so much for that. And the abilities tab shows you exactly what abilities your Warframe has. There's a passive ability. There is 4 main abilities that are being unlocked as you rank up your Warframe. And each Warframe has 1 passive and 4 main abilities, and in this screen you'll get told what they do and exactly how much energy they drain, what the range, duration, radius, and all that kind of stuff is. So all the details you'll get here. And you can also view your operator abilities here, which is a whole other can of worms. Oh yeah, and then there's even tips for the abilities that exist, which is kinda nice. You could even show base stats if you want for your abilities, which is also kinda nice. Okay, but the abilities are also shown here in just the same manner, so you don't need that tab actually. And a synopsis of all your stats for the Warframe itself are shown here. So, this is just for the Warframe. Then there's like a zoom in on the primary weapon that you have equipped with a little description, the stats, what it does. You can equip tons of weapons, and there's like such a huge amount of different weapons, it's insane. Just explore the inventory for yourself. Yeah, you can upgrade it and change its appearance with skins just as well as you can with the Warframe. Then there's a secondary weapon which works just the same. Another weapon that I have here, the Latum, is a very special type of weapon that you can get from Zariman. From the Zariman, it's an Incarnon weapon that has special abilities that other weapons don't have. But in general, usually a weapon screen looks like this, with a little description, just like the primary weapon. And there's your melee weapon. Works just like the other two. Then here's your focus school, which we can just hop on over. There's different focus schools, 5, that you can unlock, and you can like switch between them and focus on them at will. And there's the Parazon, which you can upgrade, and you can change its appearance. So the Parazon is not important to go over right now, to be quite honest. So then you can, down here is a button to switch to Conclave loadout, so you can configure different loadouts for different game modes, for PvP and PvE. Then there's the screen for your Sentinel, which you can view here. This is the Sentinel. This is a little robot companion that hovers over your shoulder and provides you with combat assistance and other benefits. You can equip different kinds of Sentinels, and you also equip your pets here. So you can only have either a Sentinel or a pet. You cannot have both equipped at the same time, so you gotta Well, you gotta just choose. I could choose to have Name Her, or Shub-Niggurath, or Pinsindleton, but I don't. I like my Helios Prime. Every Sentinel and every pet has different abilities and different strengths and weaknesses that you want to familiarize yourself with. And of course, Sentinels can be upgraded just like weapons or warframes, and they can change in appearance, in skin, attachments, sigils even, and color. Or the Sentinel skin. That's interesting. I don't like this version of Orders though. Right, that's the Sentinels, and this is the Sentinel weapon, which you can even switch between them if you want. And these can also be upgraded like any other weapon does. Then there's your gear wheel. You'll put everything that isn't a weapon in here. You can choose this gear during a mission and do with it what you can, basically. There's your emotes. You can equip different emotes, and you can equip even more emotes than the wheel. It's just like a spiral down. Yeah, you can equip lots of emotes just for fun, mostly. This, like the Shawzin emote, even plays music if you want. You can play a guitar, basically, which is kind of cool. If you own Shawzin, that is. Then there's the loadout for your Arcwing, which is wings that you use to fly through space with your Warframe. It has its own health and energy pool and its own abilities. Basically, an Arcwing is nothing short of a Warframe, but in space. Arcwings come with special weapons that are only usable in Arcwing missions. And there's one for ranged and one for melee. Then there's this. You can equip, upgrade, and change the look of your K-Drive, your hoverboard over here as well. And then there is this, your mech suit, which you can also equip. I've got two that look almost the same. The mech suit also has special upgrades, special looks, special abilities, and also special weapons. So much for that. Whoop, what was that? Camera just spazzed out. Okay, so this is your arsenal. Perfect, let's go on. Here's your... If you have a railjack, you don't start with it. So if you have a railjack, you can board it here. I'm not going to go into the railjack. It's a spaceship that you own, that you do special missions with, and that is it for the time being. You can customize your railjack in a dry dock, and I think one of the relays has a dry dock, but that's about the extent of it. Then here's your like personal quarters with lots of decorative items, a space view, and like a music player. It's nothing too fancy, but it is there, and you can decorate it any way you want. Then there's this door, which is still locked. Oh no, it isn't. Then there's this door.
Disgusting, is it not, Operator? Orders would enjoy purging this. Cleaning this room, but sadly this vile mass serves you and your warframes unnecessarily equal.
Right, so this is the Helminth, which is an infestation. I can name my Helminth if I want. I forgot what I named it.
Vile. Putrid. This thing is responsible for biological functions of the orbiter. A strange design. Why would I be built with such a flaw?
Right, so the orbiter is not entirely machine, it is also a little bit biological, and this Helminth is maintaining that, and also is an infestation source, which is kind of nice. You can feed, you can interact with the Helminth, feed it warframes, and transfer abilities here. You can also sit down here to transfer those abilities and to rid your Warframe of an infection that can sometimes happen if they interact with a certain infested Warframe. There's a special Warframe that can inflict an infestation on other Warframes. It'll show up as a pustule, and this is the only way to enter this room normally when you don't have like the Helmet upgrade segment unlocked. Anyways, and then here is the big hall of the operator. And the operator is the human behind the Warframe. Here you can change the equipment for the operator, which means the weapon and the arcanes, and the focus, school, and abilities, and of course the appearance of the operator, and all of the different armors and whatnot that it has. You can also create a custom face with hair, markings, custom eyes, all of that kind of stuff. This is what you can do here. Yeah, the operator is the human behind the Warframe, and you can also walk around with them, and you can fight with them, and basically there's whole game modes devoted to just the operator. So this is your spaceship. These are all the basics that you need to know about the spaceship. This is pretty much everything that I could think of that would be valuable to know. So, actually, let me just quickly equipment, orbiter, appearance. Let's just quickly revert back to white. The black was just too dark. I don't mind a few dark influences, but I need the clean whiteness. Okay, so this is the orbiter and all its different systems. Now, let's visit Cetus for a bit, just to show you how things work. So usually on any given planet there is lots of different nodes. Every node has a certain game mode associated with it, a certain mission type, if you will, and it's all instanced. Like, you enter the node, you get an assignment, you do the job, and then you extract again and get your rewards, like dungeons in MMOs or something. And there are currently 3 planets that have open world sections: the plains of Eidolon on Earth, the Orb Vallis on Venus, and the Cambion Drift on Deimos. And you can just free roam and interact with the world as you see fit, kill lots of shit, discover things like caves and other locations, which is kind of nice. And yeah, so this is kind of what it is. And let's just enter Cetus real quick and show you how one of these cities works in brief. Now we'll get a loading screen. Throughout the loading screen we see this little ship. This isn't our orbiter, it's our landing craft, which is a little spaceship that detaches from our big spaceship in order to get us to the planets. And the Railjack is even a bigger spaceship than this little spaceship, but it doesn't really matter, does it? You can customize the appearance of your landing craft as well, and there's different landing crafts to choose from. So, welcome to Cetus. Let's just quickly... The Ostron have their own alphabet, by the way, as do the Solaris and the Entrati. Cetus is a city next to a... an open world section. And this is how the entire thing works all the time. If you have an open world section, there's going to be a city next to it. with lots of things like merchants and quest givers. This is Fisher Hylook. You can exchange resources for different rewards here. There's just NPCs doing this stuff. Oldman Zoombat, who appears to sell interesting stuff.
Doing the impossible. To get out there and bloody well do it.
Oh yeah, I can trade gems for Austrian standing here. Can I buy certain things? Yeah, I can buy gems. Nice. Let's trade gems for Austrian standing. Why not? I have some. I don't need them for anything in particular. That sounds good. Let's redeem that. And now I've earned some standing with the Austrian people, which is nice. There is... Ah yeah. No, not this guy. There is... There's this dude, Master Tisanai.
Oh, yes. I am able to groom your animal. What is your desire?
Yeah, he's the animal groomer. You can browse the wares and see what he does.
Certain individual on
Yeah.
Venus. The business, they call him. Another time, then.
It's another merchant with rewards and whatnot.
She gives. He gives.
There's at least 2 more merchants. This guy, who sells Zaw parts, and a Zaw is a custom-built melee weapon that you build from different parts that all do different things.
No peddling. I will not be attending your poetry recital. Huck would rather get the point of his head and collect the magnets. How may I serve?
Interesting. You can forge your own melee weapon here from different base materials. You can even buy one of his creations. So there's just like a randomly generated weapon out of 3 different parts, and you'll see the stats here, and you can buy it if you want. Other services include naming a melee weapon, gilding a Zaw that is max rank, and all that kind of stuff. You need Austrian standing to buy the parts, of course. And there's one more merchant. Ah yes, Nakak.
Best prices and free advice, Sura. To me, you're a local.
Right, so you can trade certain things for certain stuff with her, and like these are like operator mask items that your operator can wear. You can click on it and then it shows up what it looks like. It's nice novelty items. It looks fine enough. It's kind of cute actually. Paper masks of Warframes and stuff. It's kind of cute. And there's like floofs, which is just like plushy animals.
You'll find spirit job. Others have one price for locals and one for off-worlders. Me? I give you the local price every time.
Right, I think this is it. Oh, Cook, this is a Solaris. These guys inhabit Fortuna. Yes, these are their heads. Okay, so this is about it for Cetus. You can also fast travel to any of these of these guys. This is Quill Onko, he gives you certain... He's also kind of a merchant. And this is Konzu, and this is the guy we want to speak to.
You pay me in red, I pay you in silver.
So Konzu is the old guy who you'll get bounties from that you can complete for certain, well, certain rewards. You'll earn standing through that, and rewards, and yeah, he's just your regular quest giver.
You upping your rates on Jola.
And he's just like, I don't know,
I thought I heard
the main quest giver of the area. And like this, like Austrian, like Cetus, this city, every city works like that. Fortuna works just like Cetus works, and the Necrolisk also works just like Cetus, and the Zariman also works just like Cetus. The Zariman is a special case, however, because it is, well, it is kind of a planet in the traditional gameplay sense. But this is how it works. So, yeah, you can enter the plains of Eidolon through this gate, and it's just an open world segment with some enemies and fishes that you can fish, some mining that you can do, all of that kind of stuff. So, if you want to do that, you can totally. Yeah, I think this about wraps it up. Oh, there's one little segment of the navigation console that I can show, which is exclusive to when you have a railjack, which means a spaceship. And then there's the relays that I can show that are kind of important.
Eterno, it's your lucky day.
Oh yeah, and if you log in every day, you get like a daily tribute, it says. Which is nice. Okay. So, 2 things left to show, 3. Well, 4. So there's this button, that'll get you to the Proxima missions, which are spaceship only. Whoops. And then there's all these things up here. These are event missions with special rewards. These are your quests that are currently active or not done yet. These are special alerts with special rewards and special conditions. These are invasion alerts with special rewards and special conditions. These are syndicate alerts with standing rewards for syndicates. These are Void Fisher alerts. These are the game modes that you will need to do in order to earn prime parts. This is the sortie missions. These are very high level missions with special rewards that you can only get from there. And these are the Archon hunts that you can only do if you have the Veilbreaker quest complete. And if you have a rank 30 Warframe equipped, apparently, which I don't have. So, that's for that. And then there is...
Visualizing a bloody battle.
Me too.
There's 3 more things that I can show that are relevant. So there's the dojo. If you had a clan, then it would show up here. There's featured dojos that you can visit because they either look really cool or they earned something else. Yeah. There's featured dojos that you can visit, but usually this is where your dojo of your clan would be. So then there's 2 more things that I could show, and these can actually be shown on Mars, I think. Or no, just okay. Where is there? It is Saturn. Here's a relay. Relays are important. and I'll show you why. So relays are like Tenno outposts. Tenno, that is you, are like Tenno outposts or civilian outposts around planets, where you can meet syndicate leaders, which is important for them to give their syndicate quests to you. And it doesn't matter if you're a part of the syndicate or not, you can still get all the quests. One last note to quests at the very end from me. So, you fly over. Oh, you can move your spaceship inside the loading screen, by the way. Just so you know. So, we'll fly...
Orgon accumulator has been refueled. Make entropy risk at safe levels.
Of course. Thanks, Sevlon Sai. So, there is me, and I've just landed on the relay. 100 message in my clan invite. Decline. So, yeah, this is where people land, and this is a relay. So a relay has multiple different things, and I'm going to show you. So, you can meet lots of players here. Sometimes there's even like fashion shows going on. This relay is due for destruction in 4 days, if the player base cannot prevent it. And actually, this has happened before. There used to be more relays than 3 or 4. But an in-game event triggered the destruction of the relays, and they were gone forever. And now we have less relays. This is actually a real-time consequence. So if the player base doesn't get their asses up, the relays will be destroyed. And we have 4 days to prevent that. Isn't that nice? So, a relay hosts lots of idle NPCs, some decorative elements, but it hosts a certain amount of things that you'll need to keep in mind. For instance, ducat kiosks. A ducat kiosk is used to sell prime parts for another currency called Oregon ducats. These are used in 3 ways. You can use them as a currency for the Void Trader, who has things in store that'll cost you Oregon ducats and high amounts of credits that are unique, one of a kind, and you cannot get them anywhere else, and they're usually quite valuable. And he only surfaces like every 2 weeks. So, and he always has a different rotation of items in stock, which means you want to stock up on this kind of currency if you intend to buy what he has in store. Oregon ducats are also used in the construction of a few items and in bartering with a few other merchants, but mostly it's just for the Void Trader. So selling prime parts for Oregon ducats is actually kind of worth it. And the ducat kiosks also show you when the Void Trader will surface next and where. Now let's get on to the syndicates. So first of all, here's a big what's this? It's wow, a thing. Here is a thing that you can just kneel here and admire the view if you want. But here are the syndicates. This is New Loka and their syndicate room. New Loka is a syndicate all about preserving and restoring Earth to its former glory. Earth is pretty much in ruins and gets overtaken by wild and mutated nature, and the Grineer are doing everything in their power to kill it. And New Loka wants to prevent that. So you can meet New Loka's founder here, and also acquire New Loka's associated quests and their syndicate and their rewards, just like any other syndicate. Then we have the parent sequence, which is the Corpus-inspired faction. They're separate from the Corpus, but they exist. And they also have, like everything, special rewards for if you do things with them, and they have their own associated quests. Then we have the Red Veil. Oh boy, the Red Veil is the Edgelord faction that I never chose. And I regularly get death squatted by them, so yeah. Those are them, I suppose. Then there's... whoop. Wait a second. Oh look, Austrian people on the relay. How did they get there? Then there's the Grenier-inspired faction, the Steel Meridian, who are all about helping their own and helping the poor and the destitute. They're actually quite the good guys. This industrial aesthetic is just so cool. Here is Cephalon Suda, which is my personal favorite syndicate because of the style, because I love my artificial intelligences. Yeah, and when you go further into the room, it just dissipates into this cool thing. And this is just, yeah, the artificial intelligence that you can talk to. And do all the things that you would normally do. Do I have medallions? Oh, I do. And I can redeem a little bit. Isn't that nice? Okay. Oh, this writing right here? I can actually write and read this. Yeah. It's actually legible text, not just flavor text. And this is the Arbiters of Hexes. You can also do the same with them as with any other faction. But they look the coolest and have the coolest soundtrack. So these are all the syndicates. These were very important. Okay. But there's more to the relays than that, and you can you have these syndicate rooms with their leaders in every relay. So there's 3 or 4 relays, and everyone has these. Then there's the conclave room. No, this is the mission control room. Oh right, while you're on a relay, you can access a navigation console and do missions from here, which is nice for co-op. So if you find anyone who you want to do missions with on a relay, you can do it from here. Then there is... ah yes, this is the conclave room. This is where you will access special conclave rewards from this guy that stands over there. Can we go through here? No, we cannot. Right, then there's actually lifts that you can ascend with, to get into here. There's a couple of things. So this is blocked off because there's no relay content here yet, but maybe in the future. This guy is Darvo, and Darvo sells certain Jesus Christ. And Darvo has sells certain premium cost items at a lower price than usual. And this is his companion, Clem. You can also use Darvo not only to sell stuff to you, but also to help this guy, Clem, over here, go on missions and earn a Clem Spectre to help you on missions, which is kinda nice. And then there is this room over here. This is Cephalon Samaris, who can be really quite daunting. You'll see why in a second. Because of that. He's just in your face all the time. So Cephalon Samaris is an artificial intelligence who gives you the special task of scanning special targets and earning special rewards. He is a syndicate, basically. But in his sanctuary you can also access your mastery rank tests, all of your ranks that you've ever achieved, and the next test in line can be accessed and practiced from here. And there's quite a few mastery rank bits to be gained. Okay, so that's for that. And then there's one last bit of the relay that I can show, and this is unique to the Chronia relay, the dry dock. And the dry dock is only used for construction, maintaining and customization of your railjack, your spaceship. And my railjack, my spaceship, is this big thing right there. It is the Vanessa Prime, I called her. So, there the name. Yes, this is my big old spaceship, which I can customize in looks, appearances and weapons and other systems. And I can board the railjack from here also, if I wanted to. So that's for the relays. Let's leave the relay. There's one special relay that I need to show. Because there's not only relays, but there's also a special relay around Mars that is called Maru's Bazaar. Maru is a special NPC that you can receive a quest from and then have the bazaar open. And let's see. Mars. Maru's Bazaar is over here. It's a special relay where you can access special things and do special stuff. So there's the option of trading with other players, and you can either do that by entering trading chat and talking to other players over there, have them invite you to their dojo if they have a clan and trading station installed, or if you have a clan you can invite them back, and then at your dojo you can initiate a trade. But you can also trade for items in Maru's Bazaar, which is the reason why it is called as such. You can access your trading via the gear wheel. That'll have you open yourself for trade. So what you want to do is you want to run around, access the relay, and stand right here, and then...
Hey, did you hear, Tenno? I'm turning everyone's Iatan treasures into Endo. Interested?
And then you can see what other people trade for, and you can trade with them here on the spot, which is kind of nice. Sometimes people just wait here for other people to set up shop. So the actual Maru person is this one. And
welcome to my bazaar. Tenno from all over the system come here to trade.
Indeed.
Need any pointers?
So you can ask her how selling works and the buying works. You can, from these moving sculptures, the golden ones, you can extract the endo if you want from Maru. You can search for clan here, and when you select I'm looking for Ayatan treasures, she's going to send you on a special mission that has a guaranteed Ayatan statue as a reward at its end. You can do this once a week. Otherwise you can find these statues as random pickups, rare random pickups in random missions. So there's not much to this relay, but... And then there's Varzia, another merchant.
Stand up straight now. Let me look at you.
And you can ask her a bunch of stuff, but you can also browse her wares.
If you're here for relics, you might have to crack a few before you get what you're after.
Indeed. So, there's two more currencies that are at play here. the Aya and the Regal Aya. The Regal Aya is used in purchasing the premium prime packs that are currently on sale, and you purchase Regal Aya with real world money. But you can also use regular old Aya and buy relics for whatever is on sale right now, and you can earn Aya through missions. Yeah, as drops. You can also buy Orokin ducats with Aya, which I'm going to do right now, just for show.
Here, fresh from the past.
Indeed. So, yeah, if you find yourself wanting to buy any of these, you can with Regal Aya. This is like the premium shop. Usually there's like Prime Access packs for new Prime Warframes and weapons that cost a lot of money, and retired Prime Access packs get shuffled into these Prime Resurgence packs that you can buy for much less money here. So this is about all there is to it. Okay. So much for that. Leave Maru's Bazaar. And then there's one last little tidbit that I can show, and this is concerning the quests. And it's just a little tidbit of information, but I want to show it anyway. You know, just in case. So, with all of this out of the way, let's enter the codex. Here you have all the quests. All the quests that I can currently do are clear. All the quests that I cannot are muddled. All the quests that I have done are completed. And the beautiful thing about these quests is that no matter if I've done them or not, I can replay them at my leisure if I want to. The outcomes, if there are any to be chosen, are not going to be changed if I replay a quest. That means if I had made certain alignment choices during a certain important quest, I cannot redo that alignment choice. However, I can still replay the quest if I want the quest experience. So let's say you're a player and have recently acquired an account that has a lot of quests already done, and you want to have the new player experience without giving up all your cool gear. You can take this Awakening quest, which is the very first quest in the game, view the cinematic of it first, the intro cinematic, and then replay this quest, just to know what the first quest was like, which is kinda nice. War's Prize, by the way, is the follow-up quest.
Operator, I thought you'd want to know.
Thanks, Orders. War's Prize is the follow-up quest to Awakening, by the way. Howl of the Kubro comes after that. And then there's... I think the Arcwing comes after that. And then there's like lots of other quests that Once Awake, Stolen Dreams. I think this is kind of Man of Few Words. Yeah, and then I don't know anymore. So indeed, there's quite a lot of quests to be done, and I would advise anyone who would want to replay these quests in the correct order, or like in a order that makes sense, to look up when these quests released. So as to have like an order to go by. Yes, I think this is good. The only thing that I would say is the New War is the most important quest so far, and in order to complete the story arc for the New War, you'll have to, let's say, do Awakening and War's Prize, and then switch to Is that still in Dreams? No. Is it the New Strange? No, that's Samaras. Oh yeah, you'll have to do... First you'll have to do... Oh yeah, to complete the most important story arc in terms of lore, you'll have to do Awakening, then War's Prize. And then you want to do Nata, then you want to do the Second Dream, then you want to do The War Within, then you want to do Apostasy Prologue, then you want to do the Sacrifice, then you want to do the Prelude to War, and then you want to do the New War, in order to complete the story arc of the lore and get up to snuff on how and why and what. For years the community didn't know what the Tenno truly were. We just had the Warframes and weapons and sentinels and pets. And then all of these cinematic quests dropped and cleared up all of that, and the community just went mind equals blown, and that was kind of amazing. And just replaying these quests is kind of cool, to be quite honest. So yeah, I definitely recommend doing that. Alright, this is it. I've explained and shown pretty much any and every element of the game, and if there are further questions, you'll have to look it up or ask me if you know how to reach me. Alright, that's it for now. Have a good one.